Yes. Soon enough, you will forget.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. And thank you again for joining us for Prince William by Night, Season 2, The Night Shift. I am David Legan, your storyteller and host for the evening, also known as Sylvanov the Dark Druid. You can find me on the Twitters and the Twitch and things like that. If you would please join me in welcoming our amazing cast, and please take it away.
Hello, I am Ashe Daniels, and I will be playing Jacqueline Dearie.
Wait, and what are you dressed up as?
Oh, yeah, I'm a gothic Mad Hatter.
Good evening, everybody. I'm SailIrish on Twitch, and I will be playing Javier Grillo.
What are you dressed up as?
And I am dressed up as a priest of some variety.
Nice. Hey, everyone. I'm Chase. I'm going to be playing Jude, and I'm a vampire cowboy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shassidy. You can find me everywhere on the interwebs as the Risa Rave, and I will be playing Blanka Rosa. I am dressed up tonight as Madre Muertos, so enjoy.
I am Natalie Chapman. I go by Alnestra on the internet. I am a 1920s lady, and I play Sara Strong.
Clapper. Evening, everyone. My name is Michael Walsh. I'm also known as Venture1399 on the interwebs. This evening I'll be playing Carlisle J. Milliner, and I am dressed as an attorney on overtime.
You're dressed
Excellent.
as
I think you did it very well. I am actually dressed as a ringmaster who is participating in the Dia de la Muerte. I probably screwed up pronouncing that, but I apologize. We do have a special guest with us evening, from a returning person and player and character from Season 1, but no longer in the physical realm. We have a wraith joining us this evening.
Good evening. It is I, Mr. White. And I will be played by Mitwad. And you can follow me on Twitch and other places as Mitwad as usual. It's so good to see you.
We're going to tuck Mr. White back into a pocket until we bring him back out.
You can't forget me.
Wrong buttons. So we join our coterie. Many things have happened behind the scenes over the last few nights. Some very drastic things. Some pretty intense occurrences have happened leading up to the night of Dias de la Muertes, the night of the dead, Day of the Dead, celebrated by many cultures, many different societies, as a time when the veil has thinned even more, giving the opportunity to talk with their ancestors, those that have departed, to make peace or to simply remember and give honor. In the world of darkness, there might be other purposes for such a night. When the veil is thin, the abyss makes itself known. The creatures of the shadows come out more fervently to play in the light of night, to join those masked and costumed persons where they can be in the public eye and not noticed. It's a night of freedom and celebration for some. For others, other things are afoot. At the hospital in Prince William County, there is a party going on that was put together by some members of the staff. Dr. Germain signed off on. Some contributions by some of the local kindred have helped to put together a charity dinner for the patients that are unfortunately stuck at the hospital due to whatever reasons, be it COVID, or if they've been hospitalized for injuries, surgeries, mental health, cancer, you name it. And this evening, it's a chance to drive up charity funds for the mental health practices at Prince William. Some of the efforts of Dr. Weiss, who's unfortunately busy taking care of some very, very disturbed patients. But her presence is not entirely missed, as we have several persons in attendance, least of which Dr. Jude St. Germain.
Jude is dressed in a shirt similar to mine. He has a bag, and right now he is in where usually the children stay long term, and he is handing out extra large candy bars and just going by very solemn and weird, and going to each one individually and saying, "Trick or treat," and then handing them up.
The excited children are momentarily paused at the brisk nature of this person. A little bit of maintenance before we get started. Jude, and the rest of you, have you roused for the evening?
We do anything like that?
Success on the initial rouse.
Good.
And then I would blush of life as
Same.
well.
If you do your blush of life, I'll need you to make a second rouse check.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Which is a good.
Good.
I am all good and all good.
Ooh, Sara.
Aww.
And are any of you suffering any hunger from the previous nights that was not already taken care of?
No.
Javier, how's your hunger looking?
I am at a 3.
Oof, you and Sara both. Pina.
But I have prepared well.
Pina. You come out, you come to the buffet. You've lined them up, fattened them with candy, and sugar, and drinks and sodas.
They do look tasty, but
That one right there. He's not exactly dead, looks sick, but I think he'll do. Quick trip around the corner.
I'm looking for people with the more the donators than the patients tonight.
But why be so picky in such a bountiful environment? Fine. Dr. Jude, trick-or-treating the kids. Not sure how to take him, but he does have gigantic candy bars and lots of them in a great big grocery bag, handing them out willingly to anybody that would say treat, which most do. They've had enough tricks. They're patients in a hospital. They feel tricked enough. Sara, also in attendance, as the proprietor of the Three Monkeys, has provided the catering from Joe's amazing kitchen and skills to keep food flowing for the evening. What are you doing as Jude startles children?
I will be mingling, looking for the upper crust of society in Prince William to ensure that we understand where we can get money from.
A simple wits and awareness.
Or donations.
Or wits and finance, whichever is a better role for you.
Awareness actually still is better. Okay. 2 beasts on the blood die, 2 criticals on the black die, and another success.
Okay, so that would be 5 successes, and it's not a bestial failure because you had more successes than failures. That would have been bad. You are able to pick out who has the nicer clothes, the nicer masks, the people who carry themselves in such a way as they're evaluating their surroundings. You know, they're looking to see where they're going to write their checks or if they're even going to do it. So yeah, it's easy to spot 3 or 4 of the local people who were specifically invited to this shindig to loose their coins from their purses.
I will approach and start talking them up. How do you like the food? How's the, entertainment that the hospital has provided?
There is a lady, not surprisingly, dressed similarly in a 20s fashion. Almost fapper, but not quite. More the jazz club looky-loo. Someone trying to hook up with a proper gentleman. But she carries herself well. She says, I like the dress. Great mask.
Thank you, Doc. And I take a puff from my fake cigarette.
She looks around and this looks like a nice fun event. Good thing to do for the children since we've all been locked in. This whole seclusion and isolation thing has been enough to drive nails through a priest.
Yes, well, unfortunately, we have to deal with so many different things in this climate. Why don't we go talk and see if we can enjoy ourselves together?
Sure, lead the way.
Sara will...
she seems bubbly and engaging.
Off to a corner where Joe is bringing out some of the more recent appetizers and say, oh, those ones are good. He does an excellent job. You might want to take some.
He, unfortunately, is stereotypically dressed with a sombrero, a ginormous sombrero. He's wearing one of those fold-over blankets with the hole to go over the head, a poncho, Western boots with spurs. Looks like he made an attempt at like Clint Eastwood, but not quite there. Hey, boss lady! Who's your friend?
Joe. I'd like to introduce you to Tammy.
I'll go with that name. That sounds great, Tammy. She kind of looks disdainfully at Joe, almost dismissive, but she grabs a napkin and takes a couple of hors d'oeuvres and kind of looks back towards you expectantly.
And I'll pick one up. I did Blush of Life, but
Do you work here at the hospital?
No, I'm the proprietor of the Three Monkeys.
Oh, I love what you did after the renovations. That place was a dot.
Yes. We decided that the upper class would be more appropriate fine dining.
She gives a smile. It's a sly, thin grin, as if she knows what you're saying, like she agrees. Says, are you helping out with the fundraiser?
Yes. We decided to donate our time and efforts to assist.
How pedestrian, but very welcome, I'm sure. I'm sure they are enjoying everything that you brought to the table. If you'll excuse me. She quickly has put you in a box. It is written on her face. Unless you interject, she will find other company with which to engage.
I will do a quick little hand signal to Joe. Somebody to watch for later.
He's like, ha! As he's balancing a tray. He goes back to circling the adults. Blanka, are you arriving already there or elsewhere?
I am already there. I donated my flowers, and so I'm simply making sure everything still looks right, kind of a little bit like a ghost, just kind of roaming around the perimeter of the event to make sure everything still looks good, and just keeping an eye out.
Given recent events, I will give you a wits and awareness, because it's likely you may have seen Sara walk away with a strange person.
Okay. Wits and awareness. I believe
there is a awful DJ mix running things like Monster Mash and the typical Halloween soundtrack you've heard hundreds of times before.
That'll be 3 successes.
Yeah, absolutely. You're looking around, you're floating, you're checking things. You definitely see Sara talk to someone and then leads her away quickly out of the common area.
Okay. Okay, so I see Sara and this stranger walk off. I don't want to necessarily interject, but definitely I'm going to kind of, if I can, sort of mirror and keep an eye out.
Sure. It's not
just
hard.
Existing, in the outside space. I don't necessarily want to interact with anyone just yet.
Sure, you get close enough, you hear the tail parts of conversation as Joe walks by with a big tray of something that he put together. Obviously looks like it's been, polished and pretty, and you hear the brief interchange. You catch the look on the lady's face as Sara explains who she is and what she's doing here, and she turns snobbishly and excuses herself.
The phrase "eat the rich" comes to the mind, but rather than doing that, I will look to Sara and just kind of give her you just kind of look at her to let her know I'm here, should she need me. Just a kind of graceful little nod, and then continue to peruse amongst the patrons.
As you do catch the interest of children. You're painted up so interestingly. They definitely are drawn to anybody who has something abnormal going on. They've been stuck in this place, isolated and poked and prodded every 2 hours on the dot for however long they've been here. So they do ooh, look at her. Oh, that's cool. You hear a lot of that.
Every once in a while, Blanka is wearing a very long black gown that has a lot of, towards the bottom has a lot of kind of folds in it. And every once in a while, she would like to, almost like a magic trick, pull out a rose or a flower of some sort to give to the children. And then she'll just kind of float away.
Excellent. Mr. Milliner. What are you up to this fine evening?
CJ definitely has a shift in mindsets from past times you've seen him. He now actively has an earpiece in his ear every time he's at the hospital, at the very least. From anybody that was paying attention from hospital staff or anybody from our group, they would know he was upstairs checking on Janet before heading downstairs. And then once he arrived to the party, he would be checking in with Chief Petty to make sure the building is secure at the very least, and then checking in on outer perimeter security, and then finally going around to make his rounds and taking advantage of everybody that is in costume, since they are drawing attention. They're not paying attention to him. Hence, he's keeping an eye on everybody.
Petty would assure you that things are on lock with the addition of your out-of-town friends, it's been extremely helpful, although it's been a bit of an adjustment for the existing staff to get used to their presence. They're not the nicest of people. Or some of them are. Some of them aren't.
They have their
abrasive
quirks.
to people they don't like. And they don't have a problem making that known. So
everything has a price.
Having checked on him and had your assurance, even from your new friends, they've also assured you that we've got this under control. Yeah?
I would hope so.
Go have a good time, boss. We can handle this.
Try to enjoy yourselves.
We got work to do, but you go have a good time with your friends, yeah? You put this thing together. Yeah. Don't you have to show face or something?
Yeah, Jude would tell you that, like, you're the face and you're talking. Like, if anybody, like, has a conversation more than a couple of minutes, to, like, intervene so I can get the fuck out of there.
Absolutely. So, if anybody spends more than at least 2 minutes with Dr. St. Germain, make sure he has an excuse, be it his office is on fire, or he cooked popcorn way too long in the microwave.
You got
make sure he has a space.
We can handle that.
I'd appreciate that. And again, thank you so much for coming out here. It definitely means a lot.
When family calls, you do what you gotta do, yeah?
Yeah. So true.
We'll talk about some of that later. Go have a good time.
I'll try my best.
Goes back to conversing with Petty, pointing and poking at his radio and his computer, generally annoying Petty for no good reason other than it entertaining him.
Who would I see from my current vantage point?
Vantage point down the hall where it leads into the cafeteria, which has been converted into the Halloween gathering. It wouldn't be hard to point out Sara. She has that distinct 20s style. She's wearing a very fancy mask and has the feather sticking up. It wouldn't be hard to see Blanka either. She's wearing that fantastic makeup, you know. She's but she's definitely scooting. You can see her like making around the edges and kind of keeping to herself. You see Jude being pawed at by a number of small beings. He does not look pleased about it.
The other staff do have their instructions to bail him out, so I would give Sara a wave en route to Blanka, and I would motion her off to the side real quick, just for a quick conversation.
She will go to meet him.
I just wanted to let you know about that thing that happened to your establishment. I've contacted mall attorneys, and you do have plenty of time to get that corrected.
Thank you. Thank you for handling that for me. You can see that
stressful time.
Yeah, you can see that she is definitely kind of under duress whenever the garden is mentioned. And then she kind of brightens up a little bit, and she says, "Thank you, by the way, for the new friend."
You know, you came to my office a couple of weeks ago, and I made a crack about how you shouldn't converse with me because I have such a piece of shit reputation in this town. But you've done nothing but the best intentions for my family. And for that, I'm forever grateful. So anything I can personally do to make sure that your establishment's up and running again, or just to make sure that you and your people are safe, please don't hesitate.
Yes. You know, when I first came, the intention really was just business. But I think I kind of like it here. And I like the family, the girls. So all those things I've done, I'm going to stay. No matter what they do to what's mine. I'm going to stay.
Hopefully it won't be too much more. And what is an update on the girls? I did do everything in my power to sway them to converse specifically with you. I did have a friend of mine talk to Mel. However, I'm not sure if she's going to take his offer, but I did have to provide her with multiple outlets. However, as per your request from a previous conversation, I have stepped out of that circle.
I think that has done them well. Unfortunately, I haven't heard from Mel. I did see Jax the other day. She came by the garden. Needed flowers for a friend.
How is she?
Well, I'd say good. I don't know. I haven't really gotten to speak details with her. She seems to be a little distracted with said friend. Maybe it's good for her.
Well, I hope she's doing well.
As do I. Especially with what's been given to us as an objective.
True,
Have you spoken to her about that?
We haven't really spoken since I extradited myself from their business as a whole. I actually told them their employment services are no longer required, hence there's no real excuse for them to hang around here, and perhaps you can have a positive influence on them. I'm sure she'll still take her tutelage from Jude, but after a previous conversation with her, I think your sentiments are correct, and she might require a different persuasion.
Well, maybe I'll talk to her tonight about that. Maybe I should speak to Jude first. See how he wants to approach it, considering what happened.
I don't think it would be a bad idea.
I'll put it on the things to do.
And you don't have to tell her I checked in on her. It's really for Janet.
Right. Just for Janet?
Conversation is interrupted by a ruckus. A raising of lots of voices, children-like, high-pitched, excited, lots of feet and motion. There is two of your new friends quickly going past you and making a beeline for Dr. St. Germain, as the children that were excited about his candy have now actually torn the bag that he was holding, and the candy has scattered, and they are thrilled. Jude, not so much.
I need someone to go into the store and get some more candy for these fucking heathens.
Can we hear him say that?
He's not being quiet.
We should go maybe save the day.
Yeah.
Yes. Blanka will come forward and she'll start to wrangle these children, so that they're not so much crowding him, and kind of with her foot just kind of gliding the candy away from him.
Jude, your two
Carlisle.
new friends quickly intercede as Blanka is kind of herding children and candy as they back you up quietly but hurriedly and taking you towards the lobby away from all of it.
Carlisle would head over to Jude. You know, as much as I love that kind of talk in a boardroom, in a public charity fundraiser atmosphere, it's really not highly praised upon.
She's gonna look at you. I don't understand. I stated exactly how I felt, what they were.
Absolutely. And as much as I appreciate that sentiment, you are in a room full of 6 children.
Mm-hmm.
Highly advertised. So, just food for thought. Just trying to be your wise man and all. You know how it is.
Has anybody else showed up?
To get a
We
question
have
answered?
Miss Rosa. We have cousin Sara. I haven't seen anybody else.
I'm gonna walk with me, CJ. Let's see if Mel or Jax or Javier or anyone is also here.
Miss Dearie.
I can check in with Betty if you want.
You can go ahead,
Patty.
whoever was talking.
Have you seen any other of our prized individuals step in this evening?
Yeah, Jacqueline's running in. She's like 10 minutes late. She has books in her hands. They're like for the children that she was supposed to read, and that's why Jude ended up getting attacked. So she's running in. She's out of breath. She stops for a second. She looks down at the clock that's on her outfit and she goes, "What is the point of having a clock on an outfit if it doesn't even work?" Okay.
Yeah, Milner, I think it's Miss Dearie, but not Miss
Yeah,
Dearie?
if you could tell her to approach ASAP, and if you happen to see Javier or any other special guests, please just give me a heads up.
Will do. I'll confirm. We'll take care of it. No problem, boss.
Thank you very much.
Petty and a couple of other suited individuals who are not costumed in any way and look very, very serious as you run in, approach, and kind of get between you and entering the hospital proper. Petty thinks he recognizes you, but you're different. And he does this. Miss Dearie, right? Yeah?
Yeah, that's me.
How'd you do that? That's really cool.
Do what?
The height thing. How'd you do that? You got stilts under there? That's awesome. They look just like legs. That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
They must have cost a fortune. They look so real. Hey, everybody's down that way, down by the cafeteria. That's, you're going to be a hit. Those kids are going to love you. Go on. We got you. We know who you are. Cool. Awesome costume. Have a good time. They're waiting for you. You might even bump into the bosses as you go.
Thanks. And I'm just gonna head on over and my new long stride.
So yeah, CJ and Dr. Jude, as you're exiting the cafeteria area and talking to individuals, you definitely see mostly Jax, although nearly 6'5", taking up a large portion of the height of the walkways.
Okay, so it's obvious that she's not the same height that she used to be.
It's blatantly obvious.
So, but Blanka would see this and go immediately over to her and just look at her.
I'm looking down. Get away.
Not too far down because, 6-inch heels, but she is going to put her hands out and say, there has been some changes.
Yeah, that's been happening a lot lately. I was having really bad cramps in the middle of the night, and now I'm here.
Cramps, and now you're 6 foot something?
Yeah. I don't really know what happened. It's almost like the same transformation with my hair, only this one was more painful and a lot more awkward. I don't fit in my bed anymore.
I see.
Jax, is there anything else that would stick out that everybody would notice that's not hidden by your costume?
Not as of yet.
Okay.
Here.
Not yet.
Could be costume.
So Blanka is gonna use sense the unseen. But she's gonna use it and kind of look out over the crowd. To see if she notices anything else about Miss Jax here, but also to see if there's any hidden individuals within the hospital. If that's okay.
That is more than okay.
Okay, cool.
Wits and Auspex.
Yes. Oh, I have Resolve and Auspex.
Or Resolve and Auspex, either one.
Okay, cool. Let's see here. How many do I have in there? And then, so that's...
So Sara will walk up to Jax while Blanka is talking to them and just say, "What did you eat or drink, my dear?"
That's 4 successes.
Oh, nothing more than the usual. I swear.
You certainly are in a wonderland.
Yeah. Oh, I figured the tights would, help with the illusion. But it's a costume.
How's your friend?
Oh, she's well, thank you for the other day. She actually helped me with my makeup. That's actually why I was running late.
She did well. You look good.
Thanks,
Did she like the flowers?
She did, a lot. I also noticed she had a Venus flytrap there, too.
So she is also friends with Jude. Good to know. You should get to those kids. They're looking forward to your reading.
Right. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the books, blushing from, ear to ear, and I'm just gonna go over and tend to the kids.
So Blanka, as you say your hellos, and as she enters a little further, and you sense the unseen, your eyes change, hidden by the dark makeup. And you get an assault. Maybe it was not a lot of forethought, but this is Jude's house. There are plenty of unhappy souls moving here, there, trying to interact, but failing. Some might pass in or through others. It is that night of the year where the veil is thin, and in this place where death resides, it is very thin. Thin enough that as Miss Jax passes you by, there's a hint, there's a shimmer, a tiny gold thread, almost like spider silk, emerges in your enhanced vision.
Would you say that this tether, this silk string, goes from her back out the way she came? Or is it going in a particular direction?
It seems to trail her, but it disappears after a meter or two. It just kind of dissipates and...
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Blanka will turn to Sara and first say hello. How are you?
Hello, dear.
Are you having a good night?
Yeah, a little peckish, but other than that, everything should be fine.
Have you... Well, I suppose it's hard to not notice the changes.
She certainly decided to eat something in the land of wonder.
Definitely need to keep an eye on her.
You and I both know we will.
Yes, we will.
We kind of made it a pet project, haven't we?
We did. Interesting. She's got a little attachment of sorts.
Is that still there? It was there a while ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Golden in color.
I'd be afraid to actually use that here.
Yes, well. There is a lot going on. Well, we can't tell what someone should do in their home. But this is a lot.
The commotion that earlier interrupted just a few moments ago is quickly dying down. Apparently, Miss Jax is extremely popular with the young attendants to this little gathering. They are fascinated by her. She is magnetic with them. They follow her. They watch her with wide, wondering eyes. They seem infatuated. Jude, CJ, still heading away from the gathering? Or hanging there at the door watching what goes on as you see Miss Dearie walk by at such towering heights?
I believe we're a little more preoccupied with tonight's other festivities, and I would turn to Jude and say, so, hopefully he'll make good on his promise, and if he doesn't, how would you like me to handle the situation since time is almost up?
Motivate him.
Oh, I have.
No, motivate him.
As you wish.
Now, where you said Jax was there, I don't see Jax.
I believe she entered earlier. She has some type of stilt costume on. Maybe something out of a fairy tale, perhaps.
This was, after all, her plan, and she's look at my watch. She's late.
She is, but you know as well as I do, she puts forth an effort.
Yeah, let's go back to the main event.
As you wish.
Turning and heading back into the small crowd. It's not like they've allowed a lot of people to participate here. Mostly patrons of the hospital, patrons of the new blood and tissue center, new money, some old money, although in Virginia and the United States, old is relative. Not hard for you to pick out someone wearing a hat with bunny ears coming out of it, surrounded by seated children. She is easily 2 to 3 feet taller than any of them seated. Catching a glimpse as she looks at the children reading a story to them, you can indeed see that it is Jax.
Maybe we should have gotten her into public relations instead.
Something doesn't look right about this. Let's come back to this.
It's a costume. You know it's Halloween, right?
Yeah, yes, but when you're sitting down, there's still a height difference.
Yeah, she's got some type of stilt thing on. That's what I was just telling you.
Yes, yeah, but like sitting down, it's still affecting her height.
Jude, wits and occult, please.
Oh, baby.
Blanka, shall we listen to the story Jax is telling?
What
Yes,
are
I
you
think-
reading, these fine children?
I'm actually reading them Alice in Wonderland.
A particular excerpt? Because there's not a lot of time left in this gathering. Or are you trying to get through the whole thing speed reading?
No. I'm going to actually get to the part of the tea party with the Mad Hatter.
Fantastic choice.
Yes.
That's successes.
Jude, you can hear the children are silent. They are absolutely giving her rapt attention. And for children of these very ages from 4 to 15, that is an unusual occurrence. She has them glued as she starts to read about the table setting of cracked cups and plates and jams and jellies and the Mad Hatter and the rabbit and time and all of these other things. And they are just watching her. Their eyes are big. They're leaning forward. They are absolutely into every move she makes. And so are the many souls that are trapped here. They seem to be paying attention to her as well. You can hear the whispers through the void. The abyss is not silent this evening.
Would I also be able to notice that with the sense of the unseen? Like, would I be able to notice kind of the...
This is more of a personal level of Jude has actually have done things with these souls.
Okay.
Some of his necromantic ways has given him, a little bit more insight, at least with these specific things that are trapped here because of some of the things he's done.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd also like to
Might
know
tell you
that
sometime.
I was going to say I would also like to note that everyone's familiar with the way Jax looked before. She was a bit on the more slender side. Now with her being so tall, she's proportionate. Just her fingers and arms look a lot more slender, almost even alien and foreign like compared to the way that they did before. But she's still slender, still looks as she does, just much taller.
As they would say in Alice in Wonderland, you are so much more.
Mm-hmm.
You have muchness.
Jax, you'd probably look up and you would see Jude just giving you a scathing look.
I'm just gonna smile. With my long, petite, slender fingers.
As you all watch her, Javier, aside from the few torches that have been lit around the main center of the property. It's pretty dark. The lights have been intentionally turned off. The electricity pretty well turned off. What is it that you're doing? Where are you?
I'm making final preparations.
And this is not for the Marrakesh farm.
No.
Maybe you should tell our viewers where we are.
No, this is at the Reconquista Arms and Armaments.
All
the new facility
of the former Marrakesh farm have been eradicated, gone, leveled, burnt, trucked away, deposited in landfills, or otherwise disposed of.
Yes. So there is a space prepared outside that people would notice as they come into the main building. It's a small trench kind of dug in a circle just outside. And looks like there's kind of rocks in the middle of it. No discernible pattern or anything. As they were coming inside, they would notice that the air would be really thick with incense. Very sandalwood and probably myrrh, I think is the name of it. It's the same one they would put in a censer at mass, right? They swing it. Yes, exactly. So it's a mixture of that scent and sandalwood. There would additionally be a few votives on stands throughout the space downstairs.
So
but other than that, it would be there. Yes, there's indoor and outdoor. That's
excellent. Anybody
part of
there
the
with
plan.
you?
At the moment, no. Just the two gentlemen that were recently assigned to me are minding the entrance and the security.
And Mr. Luke Lennox nowhere to be seen. Probably chose this is a night where he didn't want to be a participant because this is not his bag. He has seen weird stuff with you three folks, or the four of you now, and probably has less interest in it.
Mr. Lennox has a strong constitution, but this is a little different.
What other kind of preparations are you doing?
Additionally, there is some charcoal and sticks, basically, that will be used for writing at some point. There is also a large cooler filled with blood bags.
Okay. And are you carrying any trinkets with you?
Yes, I have the usual necklace in my pocket, but I also have an umbrella kind of in a sword sling on my back.
Excellent. What else is going on? It's quiet out here in the woods. The surrounding properties recently purchased and handled by Mr. Milliner and company, assuring some kind of safe boundary between you and what lies beyond in the Prince William Forest. There is a voice that doesn't mind speaking up on this night of nights. He can feel the presence of the darkness, the rending of the veil, the thinning of the line between life and death. Mr. Ezekiel White, somehow bound to you, or follows you by choice, probably not, is definitely present, watching as you work. If you are speaking, we cannot hear you.
I'm here, Master. It's a good night.
So, can I hear that?
Yes, most assuredly.
Okay, so
this is your place.
can I see him?
Are you tapping any kind of ability to?
Not at the moment.
Then no. Not yet.
Yeah. Still in the Shadowlands.
But you hear and feel his presence in your pocket.
I imagine it gets a little heavier.
His presence is definitely noticed.
Excellent.
Do you have any conversation with him?
I'm biding my time until it's time to speak with him.
Mr. White, you are thusly ignored. Though you are certain in this thinned area you have been heard. There was a brief tensing of muscle, maybe a pause in step. You were heard.
Do I feel any sort of warding or barriers within probably the 5-10 mile radius?
Javier? No, sir. You feel the constant pull from the sigil of the Brotherhood of Malachi that seems to hold you bound not just to this world, but unfortunately to this dark individual. You do see, Ezekiel, that Javier is not alone. He has more than one passenger. You are not the driver of this bus. There is another soul or spirit, a tortured, angry one that also gnaws at his shoulder and neck. Pays you no mind.
Do I recognize this being from my time in Stygia?
No.
I will, however, observe my new friend and my newer friend.
Excellent. Anything else that you would like to accomplish, Mr. Javier?
There's a crate by the stairs. In the rush and preparation to get everything else done, I almost forgot. There's an antique phone in a box that I hang on the wall.
Excellent. This is one of those.
And I look around and kind of make sure it's level and squared off against other decor.
Not set on a shelf, but hung?
Yeah, hung on the wall.
Okay. By like the receiver arm or something, or at least a close fitting, like little U piece of brass or something.
Right.
Okay. Excellent. Is it attached to anything?
It was delivered without a cord, so I'm assuming it was meant to be decor.
So it has the piece you hold to talk into, and then the other one attached by a cord that you would put to your ear.
Yeah, it's like a large box, right? And then it has the mic, and then on the receiver it has a small earpiece.
Got you.
The old style phone.
Excellent. Any other thing you do with that? Is there like any kind of candles or decorations, or is it just hung there?
No, it's just kind of hung there. It was given to me with no note, although it apparently came from Santini. I don't know anything about it, so I'm just going to put it there for now, and I've got bigger fish to fry this evening.
Excellent. As you go about these things, on the other end of Prince William County, back at the hospital, things are winding down. Jax is finishing up reading to the children. There are nurses and orderlies gathering them up, starting to take them back to their rooms, and thanking Jax for her wonderful contribution. They make their rounds to thank Sara and thank Blanka for the flowers and the food. And Joe seems to have made like a tree and left. He leaves. probably to just pack everything up and take it back to where it should be. Dr. Germain, some of the admin staff converse with you and Mr. Milliner, going over checks they've been handed, and they're kind of showing you they're a little proud of some of the zeros that have been tacked on to numbers, donations to the children and to the mental health center, even to the blood and tissue center. There have been some donations. Seems people have been fairly generous.
Perfect.
When everyone was doing their thanks to Jack, she does like a little bow, and the bow just looks at this tall creature again bowing does not look natural. And she keeps doing that just to show respect. Continues to tilt her head down.
One of the last children, a young girl, seems to have no hair on her head, attached to an IV rack that has wheels. She's clearly being fed some kind of solution or other, walks up to you and offers you a small piece of cake that she had left over. And she says, "Alice, you should eat this. You know, because you drank something to get so big." And she smiles a big, broad smile.
Oh, how sweet. And I'm actually going to kneel down by her side again. Very unnatural looking, still awkward, and I'm gonna say thank you. I hope this does work, and I'm actually gonna eat the piece in front of her just to make her happy.
She beams a wider smile, turns giggling because the orderly's trying to usher her along. He waves at you and ushers the child down the hall and disappears behind some door somewhere leading deeper into the hospital. Staff quickly does their job, clearing chairs, tables, cleaning up, leaving the five of you.
I've actually been helping with the cleanup as well. Again, awkwardness, walking around, bending over, picking stuff up, sweeping even. And someone asks me to get something that the streamers to take down any of the decorations that are higher up. And I, of course, oblige.
She's back. So Jax helps a bit with cleaning up, has her height. Somebody points at some streamers and she happily reaches up without effort, pulling them down for them. Dr. Germain and Mr. Milliner probably looking on with a bit of disdain, or I don't know. How are you guys taking in this as everything wraps up at this event?
Oh, disdain for sure. Like, I'm pretty sure like other partners or like shareholders and important people are trying to rub shoulders with me, and I'm just blatantly like, I'm not emotionally invested in this conversation. It just kind of moseys off.
He would continuously attempt to hand checks to Jude, and it'd be like, it's okay, it's okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
The lawyer will take care of the paperwork.
Yes.
I'm more so like studying Jax at this point.
It is clear she is not wearing some kind of stilt. The way her pants move against her flesh, you've watched enough humans to know exactly how clothing works with actual
I
body.
dissected enough people to know that this is wrong.
You could probably tell there's also more fabric on the pants than there is legs. Same with the costume. It's just fitting just a little bit bigger than what it normally would fit.
I've seen the look on Jude more times than I can count. And it's time to get everybody out of here that does not belong here. So, ending with janitorial staff, I would make sure everybody's ushered out in a peaceful but quick
cordial with the donors, thanking them for coming and their generosity.
Oh, absolutely.
Playing the bit of a politician and lawyer. Sara, Blanka, what are you two doing as the exodus happens?
Well,
I'm going.
Go ahead.
I'm going to be helping Jax, sort of following along with her, keeping her in my sights.
I'm actually like dropping down. I'm dropping down the streamers and the decorations to her.
And I'm gathering them, and we're making a team of really tall and really short persons walking through this place.
Blanka will actually begin picking up the sort of flower arrangements that she had, helped to decorate the space, and kind of just gathering them onto, I imagine there was at one point maybe a table with a few drinks, snacks type of situation. And so she would be kind of putting the plants there, kind of organizing them, where it almost looks like a little bit like a compulsion, like she needs them to be in a certain way. And then she begins to pick them, maybe looking a little bit irritated. But she is picking particular flowers. She is picking marigolds. And they come in both vibrant yellows and plum purples. And you can see her kind of putting them into a bag that she retrieved from underneath the table. That is just a simple, plain kind of black tote bag that she's sticking these flowers into. But she seems very deep in thought, whilst also having kind of like a little bit of a twitch because she keeps seeing the beings that reside here at the hospital.
So you've been keeping Sense the Unseen going this time? Doesn't cost anything to do that.
Yes, yeah. She would, especially after having seen the changes in Jax and kind of the situation that is the hospital, she would have kept it up.
If you're keeping an eye on the tether, it's definitely still following Jax around. And you can almost see like her body language. She's now stiffening up, and she almost like she can feel eyes on her, especially Jude's. And she leans over and whispers to Sara and says, "Is he still looking at me? Are they still looking at me?"
Most likely, dear. Most likely.
He's gonna have people are gonna have so many questions. I can't control it. I don't know what happened. I don't know what to say. What do I do?
It's okay. It's okay. Let's have a little chat. You, Blanka, myself, as we head to our next destination tonight.
Okay. I also have my backpack with me as well, and I have the stuff for that in there.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm actually really nervous. I've talked to Jude quite a bit about it, and he's given me quite a bit of warning, and kind of feels like they might advise against it, but I just feel like there's just something that keeps telling me this is really important to do. And the way I say this is like, I look left, I look right, there's something telling me that I have to do this.
Kate, this is what the family does. You'll be good. It'll be good. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Should we get back to the others?
I think we're just about done here.
Okay. Yeah, I'd rather be close to them than have them stare a hole in my back.
That's why we're here, dear. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Take care of you.
Thank you.
As that conversation is happening, because it is the holiday that it is, there are plenty of candles also, like little tea light kind of candles, nothing that would, burn the hospital down. And you would see that in Blanka having moved these flowers, she would have created a type of altar, for lack of a better word, and she'll begin to light candles. This is her way of trying to help some of the beings that she can see pass over.
There would be one or two in their wanderings that would pause. You could see their silhouetted forms look towards you. You're not sure if it was an acknowledgement or an acceptance, but they would make clear breath between them and Dr. Germain as they dispersed away from the gathering. It's been cleaned. There's the smell of bleach and disinfectants are starting to fill the air.
Okay.
CJ, Jude, quite the interesting thing to watch. Tall jacks, tearing streamers at arm's length.
Not exactly the easiest thing to hide.
You do see what I'm saying, though. Like even the forearms are elongated.
I do now. I do.
Looking at me.
I can tell she's uncomfortable from us staring, but I still want. I need to find out what's happening.
Is Jax wearing a jacket? I'm assuming she's wearing like a type of blazer or something.
Yeah, it's and it has like little silver buttons, and it's black and white, same to match the costume. But even that looks kind of loose fitting on her.
Okay.
Yeah. You might even, if you're really looking really closely, even might see some bones more emphasized than usual in her wrists as she is grabbing certain things. And even the way she grabs things is very timid, as though if she were to be a little too aggressive, her fingers might break under the pressure.
Yeah. Okay. Blanka is going to walk up to Jax and say, "Stop moving." And she's going to lift the bottom half of her pants, to lift up the hem. And to essentially inspect Jack's leg.
Blanka, what are you doing?
Because it is only us at this point in the room, so she's just,
folding tables, mopping, disinfecting. You catch a few looks for sure.
Cool. So
she's gonna twirl around, looking down at her, trying to put things back in order. Stop.
And then she's going to look at Jude and Carlisle and sort of not stilts, and then drop the hem and say, "We will talk about this." Super serious.
Okay.
I'm hearing that, and I said that's not a question.
Okay. That's literally all I can say is okay.
And then she just pats Jax's arm. And then looks to the others okay, what do we do?
Jax, why don't you ride with me?
But maybe Blanka, maybe it's okay if I go ride with you? No? Okay. All right. Fine. And she looks like this defeated, even though she's really this defeated 8-year-old, just okay. I give in. I know it's coming. Just okay.
Cousin Jude, may I ride with you? Joe needs my vehicle.
No.
Thank you. Blanka?
CJ,
Ride with me.
CJ, you can ride with Blanka or take your own vehicle. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely, cousin. Should I send any security detail with you?
They can be behind me.
Should I send any with you?
No.
Very well.
I look to Jax with an apologetic look on my face, saying, I'm trying.
Party turns, attempting to leave out of the cafeteria, and unless anybody has anything else.
Blanka will walk over to her little altar as everything's kind of shutting down and just begin to blow out those candles one by one, and then proceed to lead Sara to where her car is.
Excellent. As you guys head towards the front of the hospital and out the main door, Petty does pull you aside, Milliner, for a quick moment. Hey, you guys coming back tonight, right?
That is the game plan, and if I don't, you know who's in charge.
Not me? Alrighty then. What about all your... Yeah.
You shouldn't have to worry about that. It's a fucking joke, Petty. Come on.
Look, all this is new.
Lighten up, bro.
New. This is so new.
It is new, and I'm happy that you're keeping up with it.
So far.
Think of it as a gift.
Want me going... Am I going with you? You want me to go get the van?
You're staying here.
Oh. Okay.
You're on the clock.
What? Oh. This is all so new. I'm really unsure of...
Think of it more as a dietary change, but you still have a pension to earn.
Yeah.
You still have a wife
dietary.
To tend to. You still have a child.
Yeah. We're going to have a chat about that, aren't we?
Absolutely.
I'm not going to like it, am I?
It'll take some adjustment. I'll help you out the best I can, but you have a job here, Petty. You've been doing a very good job.
Yeah, thanks, Carl.
I'm passing by. I'm going to be Petty. How's your promotion going? And keep walking.
He turns as if he's going to answer and just, boss, let me know when you guys...
Take it as a compliment from Jude.
Yeah. Strange one, that one. Let me know when you guys are headed back, okay? So I can expect you to, or at least to know if you're late. I know that you're late and I come looking or whatever.
You will definitely be notified. I will have Enzo. The doctor will have Casp following him.
As our coterie leaves the festivities of the Halloween gathering at the hospital, the charity drive, they split into two vehicles. Dr. Jude St. Germain insisting 3 vehicles. Where did
Third vehicle is going to be...
Oh,
Casanova is going to be following Jude as per her his request to not have him physically in his vehicle. Hence, he should have a private conversation with Jax.
Right. Excellent. So, multiple vehicles will be leaving the parking lot at the Inova Health Systems Prince William Hospital. Jude St. Germain insisting that Miss Jax fold herself into his vehicle. Is it the hearse that we're driving?
Yeah, it's a hearse. She can lay down on the back.
There's plenty of room for that.
Or if she wants to, crumple herself in the front, that's fine too.
Oh, man. I'm just gonna... Do I have to lay down? Can I just, curl up in the back? Or stretch out as much as I can?
6'5" is not too tall for a vehicle. It's just a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want, Jax.
Okay. So I'll just crumple on in. And my hands are just awkwardly placed crossed over, and
I am going to hand you a book, though. Don't open it until I ask.
Oh, okay.
It's a little black notepad. It's leather bound.
I'll take it and I will place it on my lap.
I'm gonna get in and start the engine. So, why don't you go ahead and open it to the bookmark page?
And I will open it to the bookmark page.
It says, Blanka stated that Jax was getting flowers for a special someone that I am also interested in. Blanka said that you probably mentioned, well, she didn't say her by name, but you went for a gift for Jordan.
I didn't. I was innocent. I felt weird going to her empty-handed, and the flowers at the hospital did not look so great. And
What really happened, Jax? Come on. Good time, didn't we? All that emotional shit aside.
So I brought some flowers to Jordan, and she wanted to go home, so I brought her home and kept her company.
Turn to 2 pages before that.
How big does this book look in her hand? Does it look really tiny?
Oh, it's super small.
It's super small. Okay. She gingerly turns to the page that they requested.
After it says after examining Jordan after the incident at the coffee house, it seems that she is deliberately hiding something about Jax to me.
Well, apart from my appearance,
And she knows about your appearance.
Fuck. So I know.
I'm gonna have to make some checks right quick. Hold on one moment.
She did do my makeup before this, so like.
5 successes. Continue.
Okay. Okay. So I'm aware of Jordan's unique abilities. We had a conversation.
And what are those abilities?
Man, I don't know how much you know about her. You should know everything about. Yeah, you should know everything about her already, right? I mean, you're the one who introduced me to her. And wait a second, you're interrogating me about this, but you knew all along that her family tried to take her and bring her to my family, to the farm. You knew all along and you didn't say anything.
Hold on. Do you need a frenzy?
Jax, this is a touchy subject.
I found out after I was here, and I wasn't exactly sure all what went on with you. Those weren't my secrets to give, Jax, on either of you.
But why still introduce us then knowing that?
She wanted the introduction. I told you that. And I'm not going to pry two people apart or to shove them together.
Why did she want to be introduced to me? Did you bring me up in passing with her? And she just...
I think she saw you around me in the hospital. She is a patient here as well.
Yeah, I'm aware of her condition as well.
But you, Jax, I'm just gonna like pull over the vehicle and put it in park.
Blanka, Carlisle, Sara, as you are following the hearse part of the way to the next location, it abruptly slows, pulls to the shoulder, and comes to a complete stop. The trailing car also comes to a stop, less than 6 inches from its bumper. The driver quickly exits, hurriedly steps to the front driver's window, and knocks. Hey,
to
boss.
my vehicle or
No,
Jude's?
to the hearse.
Okay.
I'm just gonna roll down the window, get back in your fucking vehicle, and then roll up the vehicle. Let me roll up the window.
Yeah, you're good. Good. Okay. He turns on a heel, strides just as quickly back to his vehicle, and awaits. Blanka, what do you guys do? You drive past?
Blanka, who's sitting up front with me? Is it Carlisle? Cool. Carlisle, grab the wheel, and she'll let go of the wheel, and she's going to use share senses and literally turn her head to look at Jude.
A moment. Mr. Milliner,
Okay.
may I have a dexterity and drive, please?
I'll even roll it one-handed. we'll see how good this one fucking goes.
Funny.
3.
This was a difficult moment. Blanka, you
Wouldn't
let go,
you like to know?
You let go of the wheel, said, take the wheel, and did what?
The wheel. Literally turned my head so that I could look directly into the front windshield and look at Jude.
Hard to do that
and I'm
in
going
a hearse. It's a little tiny window with curtains in the back, so getting a line of sight on him is going to be very difficult, especially whilst
as
you're
we
driving.
pass him.
Oh, you're okay. So you're driving.
Yeah.
past.
Once he stops, we drive past a little bit. Like I will have slowed, drive past a little bit, tell Carlisle to take the wheel, and then turn my head to look at Jude through the front
I will also
windshield.
need a dexterity and drive roll from you, please.
Okay. All right. I gotta stop doing impulse moves, you guys. I gotta stop.
Don't worry,
doing...
I'm gonna hold this steady before we crash.
Cool.
You're just gonna be pushing the gas or pushing the brake. Hopefully, it's not stick shift.
So what are you doing as this occurs?
Something's wrong.
Okay, I grabbed the holy shit.
Okay, so I got 2 crits, so that's 4 successes.
Okay, so you let go. CJ takes the wheel. There's a brief moment as you're starting to pass and you turn to look, your body motion, there's the natural instinct to follow people's looks as Carlisle kind of pulls on the wheel in that direction. It scrapes the side of the hearse enough to knock the driver's side mirror off as you get a look at Jude. Jude, you see the bright lights of you just told your guy to go back to his car and wait. And then a moment later, as soon as you put your window up, here's the headlights of Blanka's car. It swerves. She's looking at you with no hands visible on the steering wheel. Carlisle's leaned over with an arm draped across, obviously grabbing the wheel as the car careens slightly scraping the side of the hearse, knocking the driver's side window in. Blanka, what senses are you sharing?
I am going to share
This requires
auditory.
a rouse check, right?
Yes, it does. I will give you that rouse check right
Please. CJ, you do maintain control of the vehicle.
now. Actually, yes, it requires rouse. Whoops.
We hear this, right? We hear that this marriage is boink, gone.
Oh, yes.
It can't be mistaken. There's the sound of metal
Yeah, I
scraping
think,
metal at a
like-
high rate of speed.
I'm like those anchors that I talked about, Jax, that keep my humanity in check, and then I hear like that go off, and I'm gonna stop for a second.
Blanka is smiling.
Oh, and I know it's Blanka that did it. That's why I'm like,
I'm in the back seat.
We passed the rouse. And then the actual... Yes, and then the actual thing is resolve and aspects.
Does it have a versus or anything?
No, it does not. Okay, so 4, 5. That's 5 successes. Two. It was a 2 10s and then a 6, so 5 successes.
So, the car careening into the other. You passed your difficulty by 1. There's an increased difficulty because of the immediate distraction. The slight slapping of high fives of the mirrors of the opposite sides of your vehicles. Jude, as you turn to look, your eyes meet Blanka's stare for a moment, and what happens? Are you trying to share his senses, or are you trying to share yours with him?
Oh, I'm sharing his.
oh, that's
Auditory.
Auditory. Okay, I was gonna say, but it's a deception right there.
No, auditory.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Locking
Sharing
eyes
his
for 2
auditory.
seconds.
Jude, what is able to be transmitted is the sensation you had the moment before the cars touched, during, and this moment that you're locking eyes. What is it that you are feeling right now?
Feeling anger at a lot of different things. But you were trying to hear what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
It was
So
me
as you're having the conversation.
It was me talking. You heard the start of like talking about anchors and keeping people like safe that are close. Like, don't let everyone know. And then I'm gonna go back to it, and you'll hear this as well. She is very important to me. I need to know what happened.
I know she's important to me too, and I mean, you must have known about her abilities. I mean, she was bound to find out about us and what we are. She had assumptions already. I was just a confirmation.
Hold on a second. Let me roll some numbers.
Jeez.
We're just trying to drive up the road.
8 successes. Okay, we're doing real good tonight. What do you mean she found out about us?
I can't explain what it is that she does. I don't have a name for it or anything or how she can do what she does, but we connected. And I'm not saying in like just like a friendship sort of way or anything more. I mean, she's like blushing, like no. We shared a world together, and she could see she knew my thoughts, my feelings. She sensed.
She was just sensitive to the supernatural when I met. It's sensitive to ghosts when I met her.
I I don't know if I could do that. I've never done that before. I don't think it was me. I wasn't trying to tell her anything or project anything. In fact, I know how dangerous it is if any human knew about us. I mean, look with Helen. I would never have put someone that you cared in danger. In fact, when she found out, that's all I cared about was how much in danger she was in now. And I tried to explain this to her and keep her at a distance, but she's very persistent.
Gonna make sure there's no oncoming traffic, and then just drive silently.
Looking as habitually as one would, the driver's mirror does not offer up any advice about the conditions of the road, although you pull out silently and begin to drive as Jax talks. The moment passes Blanka. The sensation of deep, resounding anger reverberates as you, I assume, retake the wheel.
Yes. So I heard all that, right? Just to confirm, I heard that whole bit there, right? Cool. Once I do, I just kind of relax. There is a smile on my face, and I just put my hands back on the wheel and continue to drive. Say thank you, Carlisle, and then just keep going as if nothing's happened.
Well, I hope you're all right, because as much as you and I have grown accustomed to each other, you're gonna pay for that. 'Cause I'm not.
That's not a problem. I was just feeling a little faint. Need you to take the wheel. I'll apologize to Jude. Keep driving.
I don't think he'll appreciate that, but you sure as hell try.
My smile never leaves the whole time.
You can see Sara in your
shaking her
rearview
head in the
mirror,
backseat, like
jaw a little agape, a surprised look even visible through her mask.
I mean, Jude, maybe she's gotten stronger with whatever it is that she has. I've never really encountered anyone like her. I mean, now that I know that our kind exists, anything is possible, right?
Jude is like white knuckle on the steering wheel and not saying a single fucking word.
And you know me, I wouldn't purposely put someone in danger like that. I do care about her.
See him giggle? Poke him in the ribs right now. He won't be so pissed off.
That's not really appropriate right now.
Sure it is. He needs to lighten up. Look at him.
He's just worried. He has every right to be.
If he swallowed charcoal, he'd shit a diamond.
Jude, I just didn't know how to bring it up to you. I thought
you told me nothing happened. I'm not going to say another word about this until after we deal with this.
Technically, I didn't say nothing happened. I did say she got a nosebleed from when we were talking, and that she did feel ill, and I brought her to the hospital. I didn't say nothing happened.
If looks could kill, you would be skinned alive.
Okay, shutting up now. Okay.
Blanka, Sara, CJ, arriving outside the locked, gated, now obviously more fortified perimeter of what used to be the Marrakesh farm. There are, in fact, one of your known friends at the end of the gate, quietly standing aside in the dark shadows, steps into the wash of the headlights, holds a hand up.
I stop.
He walks around, looks through the windshield, kind of notes seeing the three of you, and then walks to Milliner's window and taps lightly on it.
Put it down.
Was there a party?
We are expected.
Yeah, I'm just... And he looks between Sara and Blanka. What's with the get-ups?
We just came from a party at the hospital.
Huh. That's where you all hang out? For fun?
Among other places.
Yeah, give me a second. You see the gate roll, drive on through. Cool?
Thank you.
It's been quiet. We've kept it that way. I'll let him know you're coming.
Appreciated.
Steps to the side and goes over to a small box. Clearly looks like one of those little security keypads. Punches in a code. Hits a button. You can hear the gears on a chain drive rolling back the gate.
Okay.
You see him
Once it's open, I pull forward.
hit a little radio he pulls out of his pocket and speaks something into it with his back turned to you as you drive through the gate.
Right. So I'll pull all the way through and into the spot available in front of the armament.
Javier, it's been a while
and
since
then
you've
get
been
out.
visited. Would you care to describe what things look like now as they come up the drive through the woods and past the clearing?
So the grounds are a little more manicured. It's a lot of trees as you kind of sprawl through the property. But as you get closer, there's a small, looks like a customer parking lot at the front, and a storefront with appropriate signage. It's just embossed metal, looks industrial but clean and modern. There's basically an awning coming off the side of the building. The old timbers for posts, looking both equal parts rustic and also kind of a sleek modern touch, just rustic materials. And then the double door to get into the customer area. The rest of the building would be basically a generic steel shell of a warehouse.
Okay. Would Javier have told Blanka to come through the front or to go to the warehouse side
to
of it?
To the side entrance.
Okay. So that's where she'll pull up and she'll, without saying a word, just immediately get out and start heading in that direction.
The moment you pull up, another person comes out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Does Blanka recognize Marco? I don't remember if she was there for...
She was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so... Go ahead. CJ, you put Constanti and Marco with Javier, right?
Oh, no.
Correct.
Yep.
So Marco comes out, sees the three of you, and you can see him putting a little radio back inside his jacket. He just kind of gives a nod, gives a little bit more attention to Mr. Milliner, raises an eyebrow at the two of you in your fancy dress and makeup and masks. Doesn't really engage in much conversation, but acknowledges you.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a small type of SMG slung over one shoulder, clearly displayed, not hiding it in any way. Looks stern, but not angry or off-putting. Just looks serious. He has got a little bit of a serious look on him.
Mm.
He holds the door as you start to exit the vehicle.
Thank you, sir. And she will, with her bag that has all her things, she will go and head towards the warehouse where Javier told her to go.
I'd open up the door for Sara. I would tell Enzo to stay with the vehicle. Keep an eye on everything outside.
Sorry, Sara?
Oh, you muted.
Thank you, CJ.
Welcome.
He's waiting inside.
Mm.
Very well. Get on in.
Sara, have you seen these kind of things before that we're going to attempt tonight?
Not in any extent whatsoever. This is all
Then
mayhem.
you are in for a treat. We're going to have fun. And there's like a slight sway to her movements that you guys have started to notice. This is like a thing. Yeah, and she's kind of doing that just slight sway as she walks towards the warehouse.
Blanka,
Yes, dear.
we here play a dangerous game. With Car earlier.
Oh. You know, I think that Jude is incredibly reasonable. We'll have a conversation. All will be fine. I'll pay for the new mirror. It won't be a big deal.
You do know who you're talking about, right?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. There is a almost like playful nature to how Blanka is at this moment that you guys likely have never really seen from her before. She seems almost like giddy.
Likewise, you will have noticed that CJ's demeanor has become a bit different over the past couple of nights. A little more serious, maybe pensive? Would that be accurate? CJ, I do need wits and awareness, sir.
Why not? Three.
3 will do it. So not as you exit the vehicle, but when you start to enter the building, you can feel the thinning. You can feel the void become less tangible. It's almost like a second set of prickly sensors in the back of your mind just went, oh, yeah. Yeah. There's that darkness that is almost, you can almost taste it. Seems your motivation was answered.
And it was. That it was. I would definitely activate Oblivion Sight. Take a little peep around, just in case.
Taking a peep, this place has become almost like a kicked beehive of activity of things that shouldn't be there. Apparently, Mr. Grillo has been very busy, either disturbing what was already here or bringing it in. You know part of the history here. You know some of the details. You know some of the horrible things that had happened. And those souls couldn't have possibly gone willingly or quietly. There is activity.
I walk towards the farm, knowing that Jax has told me a lot of her history. and I'm looking at it slightly differently than I did the first time I came here. There was only one other time Sarah's ever been. And so there's a sense of overwhelming death and destruction that Jax has impressed upon Sara. And so she's gonna sense the unseen, but she's incredibly scared to do so.
Rightfully so. The moment that you tap into those heightened senses, those extra vampiric eyes of yours, there's movement. There's clearly things dancing between shadows, cowering or hiding or going this way and that. You see as Mr. Milliner walks ahead of you that whatever these things are, notice him. Some might even shy away or turn to look. And there's a number of them. Hard to count as they float between shadows, but yeah, you are not alone, and there's a prickle on your skin as you see these things. Dr. Germain, not a couple minutes behind, pulls up in the hearse with Miss Jax. Again, greeted. Costanti, recognize him. Comes to your driver's side window, taps quietly, trying not to notice too obviously the damage to your hearse. Hey, boss.
Rolled on the window.
You're, CJ's already here. Brought some friends. I think they've already gone inside. I'll tell them you're on your way up. I'll buzz you in. Yeah?
Rolls up the window.
Turns again, goes to the little keypad, presses some keys. The gate rolls. He again pulls a little radio out, whispers into it, puts it away. You drive up the wooded lane, and when it breaches the clearing, you definitely see Blanka's car. The scrape on the side of the passenger side of her car is evident.
I'm going to park next to it.
And as you pull up again, Marco walks out, walks over and offers to open your door and stops looking along the side of your hearse. Goes to open the door.
Push past him, close the door. Get Jax.
Yes, sir. Ma'am? He goes to your door, opens it. This way, he's got his right hand kind of resting on some kind of submachine gun tucked under his right elbow.
I'm gonna... Yeah.
Right. This way?
Thank you. I'm gonna go that way. Slowly, very, as I see the place once again that we continue to come back to.
Jude and Jax definitely wits and awareness.
Okay. Or one success.
5.
Jax, you're a little preoccupied with whatever worry might be going on in your brain from the conversation in the hearse, the cease of conversation and the absolute silence until somebody knocked on the window. Jude,
it wasn't entirely silent. The little voice in the head.
Jude, you definitely can taste the activity in the air. You can feel the presences around you. Clearly, Mr. Grillo's been at work. There is a aura around one of the buildings that is dark. It's nice. You're familiar with that. You've felt it before. And there are plenty of presences here. And they give you a wide berth. They clear, it's almost a parting of the way.
At least someone's working. Now I'll continue to make my way.
Mr. Grillo, amongst your meanderings and movements, your preparations, the only thing that disturbs you is the sound of footsteps descending stairs. And unless anybody announces themselves.
Yeah, I would turn around and look.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Like, I would come to the door, open it, just, a touch, and, kind of knock on the frame to be like, I'm here. And
Senora Rosa.
Yes. Much fun we'll have tonight, yes?
Evening. Yes. Did you bring what I asked?
Oh, yes. I've brought lots of toys.
Excellent. I trust the others are not far behind.
Oh, right behind me, in fact. Oh, by
Wonderful.
the way, Jude might be a little upset when he comes in.
I'm sure there's good cause for that.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. I hit his car.
That was an interesting choice.
I didn't mean to. But it is something that happened.
You do know he loves that car more than most of us, right?
Yes. Yes.
Just bear that in mind.
Okay.
It's funny, Jude doesn't love that car that much. It's just he doesn't care for you even more.
Rosa, metal rusts.
That it does. Where would you like me to set up?
That will be the outdoor portion of the evening. You can there should be a trench outside. You can leave it there, outside of the trench.
With that, Blanka will go outside and put her things by the trench.
So she makes her way back upstairs, passing Sara and CJ.
Mm-hmm.
It opens the door for Sara again. Heading in, heading out, huh?
Oh, I'm just going to put this away, and then I'll be right with everyone. And I will.
Make sure you don't hit any cars on the way out, all right?
She gives a very mischievous smile back and keeps swaying over to, out the door towards the trench.
Blanka, reaching the top of the stairs and exiting the building, you are encountered by a one Dr. Jude St. Germain opening the door.
Hello, Doctor. I'm sorry about your car.
Very coldly walk past her.
He will hear her giggle, and then she will do as she
He is immediately followed by Jax being kind of ushered.
Yeah, I have my arms crossed over my body, very protectively, and I'm looking down, just following.
Just before I leave the door and kind of pass Jax, I'll put my hand on her chest, and I'll say, "Did you get in trouble with Daddy?"
Well, when you phrase it that way, it's a little uncomfortable. But it was just some things that needed to be addressed. And they were kind of, I guess, I don't know, he's mad at me.
Well, hopefully I've taken some of the heat off of you. I hear he really loves that car.
Yeah, are you okay? What was that about?
Oh, I just I don't know, maybe I didn't feed enough? Was feeling a little faint. I had Carlisle grab the wheel. Things got a little messy, but I'm gonna pay to fix his car. He has nothing to worry about.
Okay. Well, it's,
You do remember that perfume I gave you?
I do. I have it in my bag, actually.
Good. Keep it on hand. Things are going to likely get tough tonight. Help keep you focused.
Okay. I mean, I'm hoping everything will be okay. It would be really great just to see her again and be able to talk to her, smell her. I know I probably can't really touch her, but just her presence being back would be, even for a moment. I know it's temporary. I know. I have so many questions.
And hopefully there will be answers.
I hope so too. Things have been really, really weird. And things that I can't control. And I wish I had gotten a chance to explain that to Jude. I don't mean any ill intent by anything that I do. I just don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And if I don't know what's going on and I don't know how to control it, things are bound to happen. But I definitely don't mean harm to anyone. Unless it's to, protect myself and those that I care about.
Those you care about. It's important to remember who they are. And in a situation like what we're endeavoring in tonight, keep those close. They'll give you strength.
I hope so. I just worry that them being too close might do more damage than good.
Well, we'll have fun either way. And with that, Blanka will leave.
Dude, there's a plethora of conversation behind you as you descend the stairs. You spy CJ and Sara and Javier.
I'm gonna look at CJ for a moment, an uncomfortable moment.
You'd see him staring back at you with onyxed over eyes.
Do we have anything to talk about after this?
Sure.
Javier, it seems like you're well at work.
Yes, cousin. Good evening. I'm glad you could make it. You like what I've done with the place?
It's not bad.
The only light noticeable from the time you left the front gate, no electrical light was found anywhere. There were a few torches out as you approach the parking area, and now down here below ground, it is simply lit by nothing but candles. There's no hum of generators or lights of any kind or any of that you would normally hear in a commercial facility. One could say it is deathly quiet. Jax, I assume you descended after you finished your conversation with Blanka, right?
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Jude. She's walking in right behind you.
Well, I was gonna look around and let's get this started. Where's Jax?
Oh, I'm looming behind you.
Madre de Dios. Miss Dearie?
Hey, Javier.
Seems to have had a growth spurt.
Yeah. What have you been eating?
Nothing more than I usually eat, I swear.
Interesting. Did you bring the things that I mentioned?
Oh, yeah. So I'm gonna take my backpack off and I'm going to take out it's like a little container with milk, with fresh cream and honey, and then I'm gonna take another. It's wrapped. They're honey cakes, and then the picture of my mom last. And I'm gonna
Excellent. Oh, over here, and I'll motion you towards a small, I want to say shelf almost, but it's rising from the floor. There's a lace doily over the entire thing, kind of a long ways across it, and two votive candles. So, Ms. Dearie, if you could put the picture in the middle and arrange her favorites. This is something of a insurance policy.
When you go and pass Jude, I'm gonna hold your forearm, and I'm slightly angry at the moment, but this is your last chance, whether you want to go through with this or not.
I have to. I have to know.
I'm gonna let go and then go sit down.
And I'm going to go over and I'm going to place the things as Javier suggested. And on the book bag, when I had moved it over, you can see the blue ribbon that I normally wear in different places wrapped on one of the straps of the backpack.
Javier, there is a very noticeable violent vibration in your pocket. Mr. White, as she passes him, a familiar presence is absolutely palpable to you. You could almost reach out and touch it if you were corporeal. It is absolutely familiar. And when she places things on an altar, you can almost hear her. It's her. You know it's her. She was yours. She was promised to you, and everyone took it. They took it away. They took everything. You had planned for decades to make this happen, and he's got her here.
It's all coming to play. Yes.
Miss Dearie.
I can't hear any of that, can I? Oh, good.
The both CJ and Jude should be able to hear. Yeah. Ms. Dearie, you have a impatient guest waiting for round 2, just so you know.
Mine.
Fear not.
With the mention of Javier saying Miss Dearie has another guest for round 2, I will go and place myself beside her, providing what little short support.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go up and stand up and whisper into Sara's ear. Mr. White is active. Make sure that she's not hurt.
Did I hear him whisper that?
In this close proximity with this many people who dabble in this kind of art? Yes, weirdly, it's a shadowy, broken, staticky, radio-like sound of something that just won't quite pull in, but yeah.
Is there a presence that gives off from this? Can I sense that in any way? Okay. No voice.
Not until after he's been.
I have no idea that
requested.
this is a thing happening. Got it.
But you've got Sarah beside you.
To Jude, he would hear, yes, say.
Silence, White, and I'll smack my pocket where the medallion is.
You say that out loud? I hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's here.
Oh, yes.
The guest?
Oh, yes.
I'm here. I'm back.
I'm looking around frantically, and I'm gonna activate Sense the Unseen.
Whilst you do
I
that,
would, at the trench, I'm going to take my things out of the bag, and I'm going to place, I have candles that are meant for each element, and I'm going to place them in the cardinal directions. I don't light them, I just secure them in place. I will take one of the skulls out and leave the rest in the bag.
I'm sorry, are you around the trench?
Oh, yes.
Okay, you would smell a strong smell of sterno coming from that trench.
Oh. Okay. I still do what I'm doing. I do take note of that. I take note of that and then place my candles where they need to be. I will take one skull out of the bag and leave the rest within, and I'll begin to head back into the warehouse.
Blanka, out here alone with nothing but a few torches within eyesight, this place just got a lot creepier. This place is probably more creepy than D'Arquis's Crowley's personal antechamber.
Okay. And I know both from Jax and kind of just whisperings that I've heard, the kind of basic rundown of what's occurred, and then obviously what happened to Jax specifically. Yes, so I will take all that in, take in the kind of energy that is within the farm itself. And from there, make my way back.
Making your way back, you get down there. Jax has finished setting up a small altar of some sort. Very recognizable. You're practiced in these arts.
Mm-hmm.
Sara's looking around, taking everything in. You can see CJ looking at things that are probably not there. And he's ticking often. Like, he's noticing a lot. It probably gives you the pricklies or the skin crawls. Jax has a surprised look on her face. If she was a breather, she probably would have gasped at something right before you came down. Jude, probably for the first time this evening, might have an odd, maybe grin? Not sure. But it's not his normal arresting bitch face.
I am going to take in the situation here. And from Jax's reaction, I'll kind of assume that, maybe some things were revealed just then. And I'll see Sara next to her. And from there, we'll make sure to go to Jax's side, purposefully walking past Jude with a little smile on my face. And I will grab Jax's hand and squeeze it. You can do this.
When you see the surprised look on my face, you still have Sense the Unseen on for yourself, right?
Yes, I think so. It's passive, right? So it would just keep going until I stop it, or did my Share the Senses cut it off?
It lasts for a scene, so it would have been terminated unless you started it back up.
No, I'm seeing. I know that the others have those abilities, and especially probably Sara and CJ's reaction. I would kind of know they're probably keeping an eye on things.
Okay. So those who do have it, you can also see that tether. And when Jax has her surprised face, you see as though almost there's something tugging at it in a different direction. And Jax places her hand on her chest, and you see almost as though her body's also moving in the direction of that tug, and she's fighting against it back. and then she's back, staying still.
Mm-hmm.
Do what
Jax,
I can to steady Jax.
Mm-hmm.
As I
Jax,
see
when
that
you
happening.
pop your senses and look around, seeing other people look at things, you suddenly get hazy, almost like a desert shimmery sense of things hovering or hanging off of Javier's shoulders. One you don't really recognize. It looks more parasitic, like it's trying to dig at him and constantly talking, or at least mouth-like movements at his ear side. It looks aggressive. The other looks familiar. You're not 100% sure, but you know why you're here. It's gotta be. You look a little sharper. And in this place, things come into a little more focus, and he looks a bit different.
She's just like completely speechless by what she sees. Whoa. And I'm actually gonna like point. That's all I can manage is a point. Like, what the fuck?
Got him.
Fitting of his new station, no?
Those that can see him would see his neck bend almost at a complete 90-degree angle, almost level with his shoulder. A grin just seeping like a Cheshire. I'm back.
That tether gets more aggressive in the pulling, and she actually takes a step back in that pull.
Sara goes with her, not letting go of Jax.
Yeah, I have her other hand, and I'm just going to put my other hand over it. Steady now. You can do this.
Free. And it goes quiet.
Hello, my name is Trevor Chapman, and I play Rico Suede on Prince William by Night, The Night Shift. I'm here to remind you that your mental health is a very important thing. We all have problems, and I do mean all of us. I personally have suffered from both clinical depression and suicidal ideation. Sometimes it can be hard to share our issues because we don't want to burden other people, or we're too afraid or ashamed of the things we have done or the feelings that we have to even try to reach out to other people. But friends and family are here for a reason. They would much rather hear that something is happening in your life and help you with it than to find out too late that they didn't even know and they couldn't even try. If you feel that you can't talk to your friends or family, there are other resources available for you to talk to. Please take advantage and reach out to them. There is no need for you to go through this alone. We all need help sometimes. There is absolutely no reason to feel ashamed or afraid to ask for assistance, especially if you need it right now. If you or someone you know is in crisis, whether they are considering suicide or not, please call the toll-free lifeline at 800-273-TALK to speak with a trained crisis counselor 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline connects you with a crisis center within the Lifeline network that is closest to your location. Your call will be answered by a trained crisis worker who will listen empathetically and without judgment. The crisis worker will work to ensure you feel safe and identify options and information about mental health services in your area. Your call is completely confidential and free. Again, that number is 800 273 8255. If you are unable, unsure, or prefer not to speak in person, text the word NAMI to 741 741 to connect with a trained crisis counselor to receive free 24/7 crisis support via text message. You are not alone. Trained expert advocates are available 24/7 to provide confidential support to anyone experiencing domestic violence or seeking resources or information. Help is available in Spanish as well as other languages. Call the National Domestic Violence Hotline toll-free at 800-799-SAFE. Again, that is 800-799-7233. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, help is available. Call the National Sexual Assault Hotline toll-free 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 800-656-HOPE. Again, that is 800-656-4673. You will be connected with a trained staff member from a sexual assault service provider in your area that offers access to a range of free services. For the Disaster Distress Helpline, call 800-985-5990 or text the word TALK with us to 66746. This helpline provides immediate crisis counseling for people who are experiencing emotional distress due to any natural or human-caused disaster. This multilingual, confidential, and free helpline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, call 800-985-5990 or text TALK with us to 66746.